Train 262 Heavy, wind calm, runway 31 left, clear for takeoff, caution wake turbulence, previous departure, Heavy 777.
Ahlan wa salam. Welcome to Saudi Arabia. I think I got that right. I was practicing for a while. It's supposed to be welcome in Arabic, but I could have screwed it up. I'm sorry if I did. I didn't mean to. Yeah, we're in Saudi Arabia. Why are we in Saudi Arabia? We're in Saudi Arabia because it's a Saudi air cargo MD-11. I tried to find a passenger model, but I couldn't find a good passenger model. So here we go. I've actually flown on an MD-11. They're pretty cool little aircraft. They're pretty cool big aircraft. The MD-11 is based on the DC-10. Duh, it looks like one, doesn't it? But it is got a stretched fuselage, increased wingspan with winglets, refined airfoils on the wings, a smaller tailplane, new engines, and increased use of composite material. This aircraft was in and out of design. The DC-10, of course, suffered from crashes, and that kind of put a damper on the whole DC-10. So this plane was on again, off again for many years before it was finally produced. Those winglets, they don't seem like much, but they actually improve fuel efficiency by 2.5%. Now that doesn't sound like much. He's like 2.5%. If I had 2.5% in my car, it wouldn't give me a heck of a lot. But when you think about the fuel flows that these aircrafts require, 2.5% can be a lot over the range of an aircraft. Speaking of range, this aircraft had a range of 6,840 nautical miles. So think about that, 2.5% over nearly 7,000 nautical miles, that's a lot of fuel that you can save. This aircraft also incorporated hydraulic fuses to prevent a loss of control in a hydraulic failure. Remember the DC-10 that lost its engine and crash landed at Sioux City, Iowa. If they had had these hydraulic fuses, might have been a different story, but they were not incorporated into the DC-10. They were in the MD-11. All right, let's put some flap out. I'm going to see how much flap, and then I'm going to retract some flap. So, y'all been telling me I've been putting way too much. You put way too much flap on. I know, but I want to play with the flap. So I think. Are we done yet? Are we done yet? I think we're done. No, we're still not done. They're still coming out. There we go. There's max flap on this aircraft. That's a lot of flap. Alright, let's get that back in because we don't need that much. Cool. It's a nice looking aircraft, nice looking model. I don't see anything visibly wrong with it from this look, which is good. Alright, we're in the cockpit. Let's back up off the gauges. There we go. The MD-11, of course, had a glass cockpit, which is, you know, a nice feature. I mean, it shared a lot of its glass cockpit with the, believe it or not, of all things, the Boeing 717. Yes. Alright, where is my flap? Where are your flaps? 14%. That should be fine. Alright. So let us go to disguise. Parking brake off. Throttle up a little bit until we get some response and give it the beans. Here comes those three Pratt & Whitney 4460 or 4462s, or, I didn't look, but it's one of these three, or the General Electric CF6-80C2D1F. These engines produce anywhere from 60,000 to 62,000 pounds of thrust each. Here we go. And we have positive rate. Gear up. That. Very nice. We're going to retract our flaps because we don't need that. Let's not go too high because that's silliness. Look at that. Alright, we're going to throttle back because we're already over speed for our altitude, but you know what? What do you expect? Really? With me anyway. What do you expect? Alright, there we go. Let's slow her down a little bit. Now the MD-11, once they were allowed to present this aircraft to airlines, several airlines did buy it, so they went on to put it in production. She originally missed her range and payload estimates. It was severe enough of a miss that American Airlines and Singapore Air canceled their orders. That's a pretty severe miss. When you think about it, the 787 has actually missed its weight target, and the 747-8i missed its weight target as well, but they didn't get many cancels based on that alone. The miss was extremely severe. McDonnell Douglas went through a performance improvement plan that lasted from 1990 to 1995 and recovered the range. So they got all of their range back, but the damage was already done, and the aircraft would go on to only sell 200. Now you might think, oh, 200, that's a good number. Why are we going so bleeding fast? That's a good number. Well, they needed 300 base minimum to really make it a good sale, a good aircraft. So they missed that by 100 aircraft. This was one of the first commercial airliners to incorporate a computer-assisted pitch stability augmentation system. It's a big, long, fancy word for basically keeping the aircraft level, helping the aircraft with levelness. This one had fuel ballast in its tailplane, so that tailplane back there, its tailplanes actually had fuel tanks in them, and the system would pump fuel back into the tailplane to help balance the aircraft. It also had partially computer-controlled horizontal stabilizers, so kind of innovative. She could carry 293 passengers, thereabouts, in a 3-class configuration, and in the right airline. And I'll tell you what, the right airline for me was KLM, because I flew KLM from Montreal to Amsterdam. Even in economy, it wasn't bad back there. I'm circling to come back into Riyadh, by the way. If you wondered what in the world I was doing. So, you know, it wasn't a bad aircraft at all. It suffered, though, because Boeing bought McDonnell Douglas, and what does that mean? Well, suddenly there was an internal competition. Who are the top competitors with this MD-11? Well, that would be the 777-200 and the 767-400. Well, why would you cannibalize your own sales? At one point, Boeing investigated the idea of removing the tail engine and making this into a twin jet. They decided it wasn't worth the time and investment, so instead they killed it. The last delivery was to Lufthansa Cargo, and that is really where this MD-11 spent a lot of their time. A lot of the MD-11s spend most of their time in the cargo market. In fact, I believe KLM is one of the last to still fly the MD-11, and I flew it because I knew that they have announced they are going to get rid of it. It's just a matter of when are they going to get rid of it. Alright, throttle way back here. Alright, let's check out our display. Shift 1. Nice 2D cockpit. Nothing there. You know what we're going to do? We're going to actually, while we're here, we're going to turn the auto brake up. That'll be good. 2. Comm stack. 3. Excellent. I can actually make this turn because I can get around here. 4. Here's my throttle quadrant. There's 3 nice throttles there. 5. There is one of my my flat panel displays. 6 gets me another. 7 gets me yet another. 8 is the end of the line. So the ICAS, the FS-PFD, and the FS-MFD. Alright, so we're going to come around here. I don't actually know the landing speed of this aircraft, so we're going to just kind of play it by ear, maybe. So here we go, come around. I should be able to pick a visual here pretty soon. Didn't go that far away, did I? Oh, I think it's right there. Cool. I would seriously suggest, if you're an airplane nerd, or you just like flying on what are relatively unique aircraft. I mean, there's only 200 of them produced, which you might say, well, that's a lot of aircraft, but it's really not. I would seriously suggest go check and see if where KLM is still flying their MD-11s. See if you can jump an MD-11 flight somewhere. It's an interesting aircraft, and it's neat to fly something that you know is going to retire soon. I've had the chance to fly the DC-10 and the MD-11 and the L-1011 and the 727, all tri-jets that are no longer around. So, all right, we're coming around here. Go ahead and see if we can put our gear out. We can't because we're too fast still. Of course we're too fast. We're always too fast. We're going to go ahead and drop a little bit of flap, see if we can slow it down a little more. Let's put some air brakes out. Where are the air brakes? Air brakes? There they are. And there comes our gears. Excellent. We are now at 180, so that's relatively good, I guess. We got 3 green, well 4 green actually, because she has a center landing gear sticking right up in the middle there. Do that big center landing gear to keep her from crashing, breaking apart. All right, we don't want to go too slow. Try to get a nice approach here. I want to actually land one of these big monsters. For a change. I know you guys all think that I'm just a terrible pilot when it comes to these big airplanes, because there's so much to pay attention to, and additionally, of course, I'm landing way overweight because I've got basically transatlantic fuel on this aircraft right now, and there's so much to talk about. I'm busy talking, and so I don't pay attention to what's going on. I don't pay attention to my airspeed or my altitude. I want one of these times to land one of these planes, so we're going to try for it here. We're going to give ourselves some landing lights, because why the heck not? Alright. I'm going to pick on one of my viewers right now. I think Shadow, and you know who you are, I think you need to pick up one of these for your cargo airline that you're flying. I think this would be a fun one. Nice MD-11 cargo. Alright, give it a little bit more flap. The engine up a little bit. God, it feels like the plane is barely moving. Alright, I am way too high. I know that. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about it right now. Also offline, but whatever. And I'm going to force it, because unlike some people, I'm just going to force my landings, because in the end, what am I going to do about it? All right.
Sink rate.
Hush.
Sink rate.
Sink rate is going to be just fine. Promise.
Sink rate.
Yeah, we're way too high.
Sink rate. Sink rate.
Alright, I need to
Pull
bleed some more
up.
speed.
Pull up. Pull up.
Alright, a little bit more.
Sink rate.
Come on.
Sink rate.
Here we go. We're gonna miss the grease landing, but that's alright. There we go. Look at that. Let's reverse thrust. There we go. Woohoo! I landed one! Not exactly on center line, not exactly right in any way, shape, or form, but who cares? I landed it. There we go. And we'll just roll off the runway here. Maybe. Come on. Off the runway. Look at that. There we are. And then we just taxi along. If we were in Amsterdam, we would then drive all the way to Amsterdam from the airport. I swear, that's what you do. You land on the far-off field, and then it's like, drive in. Even though they're just taxiing. Alright, we'll stop here, off of the active runway. Perfect. There we go. So we've got our, we'll open up our doorway. What opened? There we go. That door opened. All those doors open. Nice. So there we go. This is our Saudi Cargo MD-11. Looks to be a really nice mod. Could the virtual cockpit be better? Sure. I mean, if this actually worked, that would make it superb. But as it stands, it's not a bad mod. Not a bad model. It's a nice looking aircraft. It flies what approximates for me to be right. Can I not? Oh, I actually have to pull it. Well, that's kind of cool. Usually you just click it. There. Turn those off. So there we go. It's the MD-11. Link is down below in the description. As always, this has been DerTebbers, the Flight Simulator X Spotlight.